Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing all right and that you're ready for this video. Well, in this video, I would like to share something more personal and authentic about myself, and that is my experience working for a cruise line. Now, if you have ever wondered how it is to actually live on a cruise ship, not a glossy, flashy influencer version, but a real day-to-day life, how it is to really be on a cruise ship and working, well, I will be sharing it in this video. I spent a few years working as a crew member, and it changed my whole life. The way I see people, the way I see the world, and even myself. And I have to tell you, it was one hell of a ride. You see, working and living on a cruise ship, it's completely different reality. It's a different dimension that only people who have actually experienced this will understand. It's different than just living a regular life on land. Once you go through this type of experience, it's so hard to go back to a quote-unquote normal life, because life on a cruise ship is unpredictable. It's always exciting. Every day looks different, and you are there for 6 to 9 months, depends on what you actually do there. But once you go back home and you're there for 2 3 months for vacation, everything suddenly seems boring and you just want to go back to it. My personal journey started when I was 19 years old. I was still a child. I had no idea what I was doing and what to even expect. I knew what cruise ship looked like, what I could see from pictures, but I couldn't imagine how is it in real life. When I was chosen to be part of this, my first trip was to London, where I spent about a month to pass all the exams in their academy that I had to do for spa. So I had to learn all the different types of treatments that they do on board. And I thought it's gonna take me way longer, but then I got my cruise ship, and it was, to this day, the most beautiful cruise ship that I've got. I remember all the colors and the design and everything that I have experienced there. It was hard at the beginning, but at the same time, it was, for me, the most beautiful cruise ship so far. I was so scared. I didn't know really what to expect and how will my life look like there. I had to spend 9 months on that cruise ship. I went to my cabin. There was my roommate. She was assistant manager. And I realized, I'm gonna have to share the cabin. It's a very small cabin. There are 2 beds, there's one bathroom, and just wardrobe. That's it. It was very hard because of the team I had, but luckily I had some wonderful people around me too who have supported me, and they really tried to be there for me because it was really hard to adapt. I never experienced something like that before. I immediately started working. I worked 12 hours almost every day, and I was just waiting for the first port to dock and just see something outside of the cruise ship. Although the cruise ship is beautiful, but I really had to just go out and be by myself and see something else that I'm seeing every day on that cruise ship. I remember this was my favorite part of actually being on a cruise ship. Is just getting my favorite coffee from the coffee lounge, then go to the open deck and just look at the ocean and be still, peaceful in that moment with my own thoughts. That was the thing that could calm me down whenever I was stressed out. You see, cruise ships are all about experience. They are like small cities at sea. They have everything from small cabins with no windows to luxury suites with balconies. Crew members usually stay in small cabins with no windows in staff area only. So they have main dining rooms, buffets, and they also have specialty restaurants such as sushi, Italian, steakhouse. And then in the crew area, we have crew and staff mess. This is a cafeteria where we all have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but they're separated. There's for crew and staff. We're all crew members, but we're separated based on jobs we are doing. You can also find entertainment, theaters with live performances, such as music, dance, comedy shows. I remember in my second contract, we had a group, Papa Roach. They came on board and they had a concert outdoors, and it was a full-on experience. I was so happy because I love that group. So they happened to be there for a week. You can also find cinemas, or better said, outdoor movie screens, bars and lounges, nightclubs, even teens and kids clubs, casinos, swimming pools, water slides, fitness centers or gym, spa, duty-free shops, I mean, you name it. Guests on board can obviously enjoy all of these experiences every day, all day. But when it comes to crew members, this is a little bit different. You see, we have staff and crew members. It's divided based on the job that you're doing. So some crew members can access guest areas, because all of these that I just mentioned are guest areas. And some people cannot, which I honestly never found fair. And I don't know why it is that way, but that's how they classify it. Luckily, I was a staff member, so I could access all of these guest areas and enjoy some of them. So there was one thing that really made me happy, although I felt bad for other people, but I was glad that I could enjoy it and actually experience it, even as a guest. The first port, since I embarked on that specific cruise ship, the first one, it was Dominican Republic, and it was wonderful, really. I was still confused and a little bit stressed because I still didn't adapt to that lifestyle and just being surrounded by people all the time. But once I got out and I've seen, something that I've never thought I would experience in my life. I never thought I would see Caribbean and then just dance with people around, have some nice cocktails. I quickly forgot about what happened to me, but then I quickly got back to reality and again had to work and deal with people. So it wasn't the easiest. First 4 to 5 months were the hardest for me when I was on that cruise ship. Although I had moments when I enjoyed, right? When I was outside, when I was in a crew bar. We also had a crew bar only for us crew members, where we could go in the evening, dance, just be with our people. But sometimes I didn't even want to because I was very tired and also stressed because the team for me wasn't really the best. But then after 4 months, I was transferred to another cruise ship, which was the newest one, and that was completely different experience for me. It was refurbishing, so we were in Italy for some time, so we didn't have to work full-time because we had no guests on board. It was just us. We just worked for a few hours a day and then we just go out. But then once we start sailing and we got guests, obviously, it was wonderful. Honestly, we were around Europe. I had a great team and I already kind of got used to, right, living on a cruise ship. I adapted to it, so I was really happy and I didn't want to leave. Although I was tired and I wanted to go back because I missed my family and friends, I really enjoyed that part, second part of my contract there. So now I want to share lessons that I've learned by being on a cruise ship that I'm pretty much sure can be helpful to a lot of people, because this is a really different experience that pushes you to level up in every way. First one is that people are literally everything and they're everywhere. Once you get on board, you just realize how global cruise environment is. You're living and working with people from dozens of countries, different cultures, backgrounds, different languages. I learned how to really communicate and respect other people, Because you see, on cruise ships you have strict rules and you have to be careful with how you treat people, because you can disappear in a moment. When I say that, I mean you can lose job and disembark. So you have to really pay attention to where that person is coming from, what is the culture about, what could be offensive to them, and really be careful how you treat people. You're constantly surrounded by people, no matter where you are, right? In your cabin, you have a roommate. At work, you're again surrounded by people. When you are going to eat, there are people around you. Wherever you are, you're constantly around people. And I have met wonderful people that have supported me at my worst. But I also met people who tried to put me down, which I guess is a normal part of life. But on a cruise ship is even harder, because whatever you feel in real life, when you're in a closed space with same people, your emotions are 10 times stronger. One thing I learned is to keep things to myself and say as less as possible. Because when you're in that type of closed space, everyone knows everyone. So whatever you say, sooner or later will be used against you. So I just kept quiet, or if I had something, if I just wanted to let it out, just rant, I would either call my parents or somebody that is not in that environment, or just somebody I could trust. That would usually just be one or two people, but you also have to be careful with them. I have also learned to think before I say something, to pause, reflect, and then say it out loud to someone. You see, I was always rebellious, and still I am. That's why my channel name is Untamed Within. But I had to learn to be more quiet and reserved, because again, if you explode, if you say an answer back to people, you're not gonna get anything good out of it. And I used to do that at the beginning. I wasn't an angel at all, right? But I have learned how to be more diplomatic. Second thing is that not everything is always so glamorous, how people like to portray it and media too. It's not always about fun parties and tropical sunsets, Caribbean. You also work very hard. Long hours, as I said, shared cabins, and very little privacy, which every person needs from time to time. There were days when I felt completely drained, emotionally, physically, mentally, and I just wanted to run away. But I knew I couldn't. I knew I had to stay for some time. The only thing that kept me going is just seeing different type of countries and beauty of it, enjoy every moment when I'm outside, or even when I'm inside, but just outside of work when I'm by myself. I had to learn how to adapt, how to react fast and show up for myself. Life on board is unpredictable. You never know what can happen. Every day just looks different. That's why we had a lot of safety trainings, which was also part of the experience. We used to have them a lot, and this was one of the worst things for me. I hated safety trainings because we had them so often and those briefings were so long. How do you even explain this to people on land? I tried many times, but no one would understand. It's like when you're on an airplane, right? So there are safety trainings. They show you what you're supposed to do in a emergency. Well, we used to have that on board too, but it was way longer, and it was every time we had new guests embarking, we had safety briefing with them. Briefing. I wanted to say briefing. And every week almost. I don't know even if it was a week, because I always used to lose track of time. There was another thing. You have no idea. I used to forget what month is and where am I, what am I doing, what year it is. No, not that far, but yes, you know what I mean. You lose track of time. So it was very often. Third thing is that I realized that home becomes a feeling, not a place. When you are away from your family and friends, when you have to kind of emotionally detach from it, you realize that really home is how you feel in that moment. It can be emotionally heavy, you miss a lot of things because it's a long time and you are not used to it. You celebrate New Year's, birthdays, all on board with other people that are not your family, but they kind of are at that moment. So I had to learn that home is not a location. It's the people you connect with during hard times. It's how you take care of yourself, of your mind, when you're away from everything that was familiar to you. So you understand and you learn to take care of your mind, of your mental state, because everywhere you go, doesn't matter the location, you take yourself and you take your mind, and nothing else matters. It's just how you feel. I feel that every country, every city I visited during my journey is my home, because each one of the places have something special about it and it's just so unexplainable. Fourth thing is that you grow fast whether you want it or not. As I said, on a cruise ship you have to adapt very quickly because there's always new ports, new guests, new colleagues, new roommates, and just new problems. You do not have time to sit and reflect and be conscious of what is happening to you. You have to act quick and learn how to handle the pressure which is constant there, and how to stand up for yourself and be there mentally, emotionally, and try to understand yourself the best you can. You learn that you are your best friend and support, or the enemy. It depends on how you treat yourself, and that the way you treat yourself creates the narrative of how other people will treat you. Fifth thing that I learned is discipline. It is so important. Whatever you would like to achieve in life, you need discipline. Motivation is good for the beginning, but after motivation wears off, what are you going to do? You need to keep going and doing it. Even if you just want to look good, right? You have to go to the gym, you have to eat healthy, you have to get up and put makeup on, you have to do your hair, dress. So whatever you would like to do in life and be successful in it, you need discipline. Same applies on a cruise ship. You don't always feel like working long hours and smiling to the guests all the time. Even when you're in guest areas, you constantly have to smile when you see people because you're wearing your name tag. They can see you're a crew member. So if you don't smile, they will complain about you. So you don't always feel like doing that, but you have to. So that type of experience teaches you how to be disciplined. Number 6 is adaptability. I can promise you this is your superpower. If you can adapt to anything at any time, you're gonna be good. On a cruise ship, things happen fast and change fast. So you have no choice than adapt. You have to let go of control and lean into flexibility and always expect that something unexpected would happen. Number 7 is privacy is so important. When you share everything with other people, starting from your bathroom, meals, workspace, every single moment for these 6 to 9 months, you realize that you need some time for yourself. And you just see solitude in a whole new way. For example, right now, I appreciate so much when I'm by myself. And a lot of people don't understand that. They usually tell me, how can you do that? You are in your comfort zone. I'm not. I'm just enjoying my own solitude because it was kind of stolen from me for such a long time. And I need this to recharge myself. Not that it was wrong to be around people, it's not. But when you're constantly surrounded by other people, you cannot think clearly. You're not conscious of anything that's happening to you. You don't even know who you are because everything is mixed up in your head. So once I started being by myself, once I disembarked, I started becoming conscious of a lot of things about myself and my life, and reflect on what I have been through and what I have to work on. But when I was there, I had no idea because I just kind of lived on autopilot. Number 8, I realized that time is everything. You learn how to appreciate the present moment because when you're on board, you are living on a strict schedule. So free time basically becomes rare and precious. And once you have it, you enjoy right now. You realize that life is happening now. When I was on the open deck and just looking at that ocean and having a moment, having my own coffee, enjoying it, I realized, hey, I don't know if I'm ever going to experience this again in my life. I have to enjoy it. I have to go back to work later. So let me just enjoy now. Life is now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow. Now. Number 9, it's absolutely okay to ask for help. You don't have to figure everything by yourself. You don't have to do everything on your own, and you are not alone. There's no shame in struggling. You can always ask other people to help you. No matter how independent you are and strong, there will be moments when you are down. So it's okay to have people who are around you that can support you. And there always will be people who will understand you. I had it even on board. I thought I would not, especially at the beginning, but there was always at least 1 or 2 people who would understand me and listen to me and actually help me go through something. So always when you're struggling, ask for help. Don't be proud, just do it. There will always be someone. Number 10, very important, is that growth happens outside of your comfort zone. When you're on a cruise ship, that type of life pushes you in every way, emotionally, physically, mentally, but that's what you need to grow. No matter how hard it is, sometimes I look back and I wonder, why did I have to go through all of this? Some things are very traumatic, but then I remember I said, hey, but I've grown so much, I've learned so many things, and I've experienced something that many people would not have a chance to experience, something completely different, and it really made me a different type of person. Number 11, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Helping others or trying to help others while neglecting yourself, it's always going to lead to burnout. Self-care is not optional. It's something that is necessary. So I've learned that I have to first take care of myself in every possible way in order to be able to help others, not the other way around. Because if I'm not well, if I'm not happy and fulfilled, how am I going to help somebody else? And number 12, you're way more capable than you think you are. There were days when I thought that I would not be able to handle this. I said, I just cannot, I want to give up. But when you have to, you realize how strong you are. You stretch over the limits that you set for yourself. You realize I can do so much more. I am powerful. Everything starts from me and I can do this. You never know how strong you are until that's the only option in that moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you should torture yourself, absolutely not. But you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to make something out of your life. I could talk about my cruise ship experience forever, for hours, because there's a lot of details. Sometimes I don't even remember what I've been through, and it just comes up in my head and I'm like, oh, okay, I've been through this, I've experienced this, I've been to this country, I know this person. So it's absolutely normal. But if you are the type of person who is looking to go and experience this, to be a crew member, just make sure that you open your mind, your eyes, that you are mentally ready for this. I mean, you're never going to be ready for tough things, but make sure you prepare yourself and just, educate yourself about this. I didn't educate myself at all. I just, went and did it. but I would always suggest to do it. And I would not really recommend this to young people because it's very tough. Maybe wait for a few years to be at least 24, 25 when you are a formed person and when you can handle more. But if you want to do it, definitely go for it because the experience is unforgettable and you will be so proud of yourself. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know if there's anything else you would like me to talk about, any specific topic, or maybe extended version of this experience. Let me know in the comments. If you didn't subscribe, please do. This will help my channel grow so I can share more of my experiences and also tips for you and advices. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.